Hi, I'm Vance, and welcome to Repair and Replace. If your oven door won't open and stays locked, then it's likely because the self-cleaning cycle was interrupted. When an oven self-cleans, it heats up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which burns off the food and grease residue inside the oven. For protection, the oven door will lock during every self-cleaning cycle. If the power is interrupted during the cycle, or if the door lock motor fails, then it can prevent the door from unlocking. Alternatively, if your oven display isn't working after a cleaning cycle, then it could be a blown thermal fuse. You can learn more in the troubleshooting video linked below. In this episode, we'll reset the oven, unlock the door, and test the door lock motor. Let's get started. Before you try anything else, it's best to reset the oven. Disconnect the power at the breaker. Wait 5 minutes and turn the breaker back on. Next, start a self-cleaning cycle. This should engage the lock mechanism, even if it's already locked. Once the self-cleaning is started, press clear or cancel to stop it. The door lock should disengage. If it still doesn't open, then you'll have to manually release the lock. To begin, you might need a screwdriver, a nut driver, gloves, and a multimeter. Keep in mind, there is some variation between models, and not all ovens will have the same parts. You can enter your model number on the AMRE Supply website to see a parts breakdown. This can be helpful to show you which parts are in your oven and where they are located. Door lock motors come in two styles and are either mounted on the front or on the back. If it's near the front, then the motor and latch will be a single unit. If it's on the back, the motor will operate a small rod that will pull the latch shut. First, we'll learn how to test a motor mounted on the back. Then we'll open the top and test a front-mounted motor. Always be safe and disconnect the power at the breaker. Since there might be some sharp edges, it's best to wear cut-resistant gloves. Gently pull the range slightly away from the wall. As soon as there's enough room, go in behind and unplug it from the receptacle. Make sure that there isn't too much tension on the cord. Now, slide the range all the way out so you have plenty of room to work. On the back of the oven is a cover panel. Some models have a small panel near the top and a larger panel near the bottom. Now remove the screws. The panel will likely be sitting on several hooks. Simply lift up to remove the panel. To unlock the door, you'll have to remove the motor and push the latch forward. To remember where each wire goes, it's best to take a picture for reference. Now disconnect the wires. Next, remove the screws. Lift up and unhook the rod. Now push the rod forward to unlock the door latch. Using a multimeter, we can check the motor for continuity to see if it's faulty. A continuity test will determine if there's a continuous path for electricity to flow through. Set the multimeter to the ohms or resistance setting. Touch the probes to both motor terminals. If there is no reading and no continuity, then the motor is faulty and will need to be replaced. Simply hook the rod into the new motor and tighten the screws. Then reconnect the wires. Keep in mind, if your motor tested good and you're reconnecting the same motor, then you might have to unscrew the cam and spin it 180 degrees to reset the position. If you have a front-mounted motor, a locked door might prevent you from lifting up the stovetop to access the motor. In this case, you'll have to manually move the lock. One way is to use a coat hanger with a small hook. Insert the hook and pull the latch open. If you have a radiant or glass stovetop, then you'll have to open the oven door and remove the mounting screws. Now lift up and use a piece of wood or a sturdy object to prop it open. In some models, you can disconnect the wires to remove the top entirely. For conventional stoves, the top will lift up similar to the hood of a car. The support rods will hold the top in place. Now unscrew and remove the plate that sits on top of the insulation. Take a reference picture and disconnect the wires. Now unscrew and remove the motor assembly. Use the multimeter to test the motor for continuity. If there is no reading, then there's no continuity, and the motor assembly will have to be replaced. Align the new assembly and tighten the screws. Now replace the wires. Lower the stovetop and tighten any screws. Align the back panel and replace the screws. Now plug in the cord and push the range back into place. Next, reconnect the power. Now you can test your oven. If this still didn't solve your problem, then check out our troubleshooting videos linked in the description below. For more troubleshooting videos on water heaters, furnaces, and appliances, then subscribe to our channel. And if you need help, you can call or visit our AMRE location to talk with our knowledgeable staff. Thanks for watching.